What up, big Cheds? I am uploading another Twitter Spaces. Just gonna get caught up on stuff. So that's what this is. Again, you can check out my books on Amazon, Trading Wisdom, Trading Quotes, Bitcoin Live, and you definitely want to check out all my great stuff here on YouTube. And of course, I am on Twitter at Big Cheds. Let's get it going. And thank you to everyone who is here. This is Bitcoin Ask Me Anything. This is episode 36. This is actually the third one this week. I'm doing a bunch of spaces this week and YouTube streams to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of Bitcoin Live. Bitcoin Live is the best in class educational platform for crypto. I'm a founding analyst. I've been doing market reports there for 5 years, and I do it twice a week. I do not miss a report. What's nice is when you sign up, you get access not just to my stuff, but the entire work from the entire team. So check out the pinned tweet on my Twitter page. I've also attached it to the spaces. There's an unbelievable sale right now where you get the first 3 months of a quarterly membership for $27. It's kind of a ridiculous sale. So encourage you to check that out. I have another tweet attached as well, which is a new follower packet, and it lets people know where you can find like my textbook recommendations, and some links to like learning resources, stuff like that. You start out though at my YouTube channel at Cheds Trading, and I really like to recommend people start out with the masterclass technical analysis webinar playlist. There's 3 beginner and now 2 advanced webinars. A lot of great information in there. Check out the Twitter Spaces playlist for older Twitter Spaces. The questions and answers really create a nice format for learning. I am the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. And that book's done really well. And so I thank you for that. I really appreciate that. I've got a free version of that on my YouTube channel. So check out the Trading Wisdom playlist. So that's about that. So you know the deal, folks. So we're just hanging out here together. But this isn't about me just like talking and, analyzing the chart and telling you what to think. This is an interactive format. So I already see a few people requesting to speak. That's good. There's a button there in the bottom left, which says like request microphone or request to speak or something like that. And I'd love for you folks to join the conversation. I want to hear your questions, your comments, your feedback. And that's what's going to make this the most interesting. So I'll bring you up, and please just wait until I call you, and then that will be your turn. For those of you who have done this before and you've listened, but you've never, you never volunteered, you've never, never spoken, I think this is a time to do it, right? Add your voice to the choir, add your voice to help, create some value here. So please hit that button in the bottom left to join the conversation, and we'll go from there. So folks, just hang on for about a minute or two while I fill up the room and while I fill up the requests. So just hang out for a moment, and thank you. All right, let's get started. Cleve, good to see you back. You are a regular. How's it going, man? Crypto Cleve, what's happening in your neck of the woods? Crypto Cleve, it's your turn, brother. What is going on, Crypto Cleve? Probably stepped away. Let's see. So when you come back, you can get in here. Diego, why don't you go ahead if you can hear me, Diego?
Cheds, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You don't want me to be the first one to get the
Why?
ball rolling, though.
Oh, why?
Because
Why? What's happening?
mine was not gonna be anything crypto related. I just wanted to say I'm happy you're back, dude. Last time was the first time I spoke. I'm
Hmm.
watching Real Madrid getting their asses kicked by Manchester City. I'm very happy, seeing as
Mm,
I am a Barca fan. I mean, I still work for the club, so
okay.
yeah. And I was just gonna tune in, listen in, and I thought I would be down the line, somebody just to throw a comment out there and see how you've
Sure.
been. Like I said, I'm a regular listener since many years now, and
Okay.
whenever you're on, I'm always all ears, man. But so yeah, how you been?
Well, I appreciate that anyway. I appreciate. I'm chilling, man. We got crazy. I'm getting crazy allergies today, so I'm kind of taking it easy today. But overall,
Allergies?
doing quite well. Yeah.
Allergies
Yeah.
are a
There's
problem.
pollen.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Could be worse. Could be
No,
worse.
but
Yeah.
they said that this year in particular, allergies were gonna kick in hard. I never had allergies until in recent years, and now
Hmm.
it's yeah, they are serious sometimes.
Yeah. There you go, brother. Well,
Yes.
I'm glad you joined us, man. I'm
All right,
glad you. It
Cheds.
sounds like you're doing pretty well, and I hope you enjoy yourself.
Thank you so much. Likewise.
Take care, brother.
You too.
All right, Cleve. Can you hear me, buddy? I see you're back in the
Yeah,
house.
what's going on? I don't know. Every time I join your
What's?
spaces, something like that happens. But how you been?
I'm chilling, man. What's cracking with
A
you?
whole lot of nothing. Just watching whatever's happening with basic price action and kind of just getting better each day or trying to, right?
That's
Enjoying
it.
the little
That's it.
things. Um, couple things, I guess. Well, I won't say a couple things, but I'll just do one quick thing, I guess. But since it's starting tomorrow, but this whole Bitcoin conference that runs from the 18th to the 20th. Yes.
Mm.
Checking on any of the speakers up here, current thoughts and what you think. I guess a little bit of speculation, but if history is any indication of where price could maybe get sucked into and maybe trap some people, I don't know. I did some digging and feel like I noticed a few things, so I might have a little bit of a bias. But
Well, tell me what you found in your research. What have you found?
let me toss it in here. I'm not like shilling my own stuff, but um, I threw a little thread together so I could at least go back and just see it, and then it's easy for me to share to people. But basically, from I'd say the last 5 years, you end up seeing either some kind of rally or some kind of topping out of like Bitcoin around these like conferences or these hype events where people are Bitcoin maxis are going nuts for a couple of days, and then you see some kind of volatility. I think there was one instance in I can't remember if it was like 2019 off the top of my head. There was like a smaller move, but that was kind of came right after we I think it was put in like the macro bottom of that cycle, if I remember correctly. But there's a couple times where we like shot up and then you kind of topped either around the start of the conference, shortly after the conference. And I don't know if we're going to maybe see something similar to that, but a little bit of speculation,
Hmm.
a little bit of, I guess, homework that I'll just share and see if it helps anybody out or, makes any sense. But I'm kind of looking at something like that.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's a bit of a meme, and
Like,
the people get excited for the conference, and I guess maybe usually the price does something funky, but I just don't know that. I mean, it's something maybe fun to talk about. I don't know how maybe actionable. Perhaps it might be. I don't know. I don't
I'm
know too much
definitely
in
I'm
that.
definitely not taking any shorts like strictly off of that, but like if price,
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
into a specific level, but I mean the mid 26s have held pretty nicely where we've had plenty of wicks, so I mean as long as that kind
sure.
of defends, see where kind of we push up to and look for some levels. I'm kind of again in the camp of leaning that we're going to go lower down here at some point, but
You think so?
I just lean towards it. Whether we go like high or not, I don't know. I just feel like we've kind of just distributed for a couple months now, and I feel like you're seeing like everyone scream alt season over and over again when
Right.
ETH BTC seems to. I know you don't watch that too much, but
No, I've been watching it for the
it
last
kind of
month or
gives.
so
I
for
feel like
sure.
it gives a gauge for like alt strength, and I don't know. I
Yep.
feel like we
Yeah.
had 2 months to see alts kind of run, and some did run,
Yeah.
but now I feel like you've had like distribution and some's like, I mean, Trader XO's kind of pointed out, but like you see distribution in things like OP and some of these other coins, and like
Uh-huh.
now you're starting to see some of them break down and show more weakness. Like, I mean, from the tops of some of these are down over what 50%, and Bitcoin's just kind of hanging around like high 28 still, mid to high 28s,
Mm-hmm.
or mid to high 20Ks. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So like if or when Bitcoin does kind of roll over we'll see what alts kind of do there. But kind of just my 2 cents. I won't, take the whole floor. I know there's some other people here, but that's just kind of maybe
Okay.
what I'm looking at here. But it's always good popping up here and talking to you and hearing what everyone else says too. So it's always a pleasure.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
Been
Appreciate you.
busy,
All
so I
right,
haven't been
brother.
able to get up here. So I saw you up here. I was free for a little bit, and I wanted to pop in.
Good. Busy's good, man.
Right.
You know what they say about the idle hands is the devil's workshop. So
Exactly.
stay busy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Good chatting.
All right, take care, brother. Folks, hit that request button. I want to bring you into the conversation. That's what this is all about. This is about kind of interactive back and forth. I'd love your questions, your comments, your feedback. We have Huso is here again. Huso. Nice to see you. You were here earlier this week. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Cheds? Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm just in the gym. I was working out, and as soon as you came live, I was like, perfect. I can listen to something while working out.
All right. Okay. All right. So what are
I'll,
you working out? Are you working on your you want to be a bag holder, so you're working on your arms so you can hold the bags, or what?
I'm working out on my back, so I can put all the cryptos on my back, especially XRP,
Yeah.
the
That's
XRP
good.
community.
That's it. That's the way to do it.
Come
That's
on
great.
here to ask you a question. This could be a broad question, or it could be crypto related, however you want to answer it. So my question is, so at
Okay.
the moment, I'm in my early to
Oh, we're having trouble. It's unfortunate. Can you start again? We lost you.
is
You
this
want to start your
better?
question again? Yeah, start again. You're in your early 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, I can start it again. Okay, so what advice would you have for your younger self if you're in your early 20s all over again?
Um, a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff. I would what would I do? I'd save more. I would definitely save more. I would use the power of like compounding gains earlier in my life. I had some money when I was younger, and I kind of blew it on experiences and things, and I was reckless with my funds earlier in my life. So I would tell myself to save more money. Probably buy. I mean, obviously you'd be like, oh, go buy Apple, go buy whatever, but I would buy like dividend stocks that just compound gains. I think that'd be one thing I would do. I would focus
Yeah,
on my personal relationships. I would try to like be better with my family and improve those relationships. And the people around me. I'd try to be more mindful of that stuff. And I'd work on my health too, even back then. Like maybe you take your health for granted when you're young, because you kind of can, because you regenerate, because you bounce back, every time. So I would start to think about the long game much more. I never really thought about that stuff when I was younger. And it makes sense, you don't do that. And I've gotten older, and I've lost a parent, and I faced cancer, and so I've had a lot of experiences that have changed me and how I see the world now. And so I would, you can't really do that. You can't really just go back and, it's different back then, obviously, but I would try to impart some of those lessons to myself when I was younger. Yeah.
okay, perfect. I am sorry to hear about your loss, and thank you for answering the question.
Of course, man. Hey, keep working out, brother. Take care of yourself. All right.
You too, take care.
All right. Appreciate you. This is Ask Me Anything. It doesn't have to be life stuff, but I want to hear from you. Let's talk about the charts. Let's talk about crypto. Let's talk about trades, how to set up trades, trade identification, risk management, any of those things. We've got probably 100 people here already, 130 people in this room. And so, anybody can listen. Great. You just listen, but I need you to contribute. I need you to jump up and add your voice. That is the value. I see Tarek is back. That is the value in these conversations. It's in the questions and the answer. So especially if you've never spoken before, please hit that button in the bottom left to request to speak, and I'll bring you up. Wait till I call your name. And that's what it's all about. So Tarek, what's up, Tarek? How you doing,
All is
buddy?
good. I've been listening to a few times to your show and amazing stuff you're delivering there, man. Yeah, I just wanted to you mentioned that you wish you had saved more, and one thing I've
Yeah,
experienced recently, during the bull run, I made tons of money with Bitcoin, right? But the
yeah,
problem is I did not comprehend the value of what I had right? And it was
Yeah.
a kind of a reckless feeling because I don't know if it was the physical, attribute of the money itself, or is it because it was easily gained, even though I've worked very hard all my life to learn trading and I've lost a lot in order to get there. But still, I
Mm.
did not have the value, concept to what I had. And so I was wondering what is the solution to that because you make a couple of I was making $100,000 per trade, man, and
Wow.
yeah, and I was going big because I understand Bitcoin, right? And but I felt it was easy made money, and then I felt like I had to teach people around me, and then the moment I started doing that, that's when I started getting wrecked. So, what is your advice to people who actually, have friends around them who want to learn, who are always, insisting, teach me how you do this, teach me how you do that? Should
Yeah.
invest in others, and at what stage in their learning process would they do that?
So here's what you want to do. It's a great question. It's a really interesting question. I think there's a lot of value in helping others and teaching them. And if you think about any skill set, in order to master any skill, you really have to be able to teach it to someone else. It doesn't matter what it is, and that's actually just another level of learning that skill. So there's value in that. Um, but there's a phrase, right? You can lead a horse to the water. You can't force them to drink. So um, you can try to help people, you can try to teach them, but they have to be hungry. They have to be hungry to want to learn. They have to be hungry to want to succeed. So you want to push them in the right direction, lead them in the right direction. Here's some great resources. Why don't you read this textbook? Go watch this video series. Why don't you go do these things? Why don't you start to trade? Use a trading journal. Do it for a week, for 2 weeks. Write down your experiences, and let's talk about it afterwards. So you have to find ways to empower them, and then they have to kind of step up and accept that empowerment and make something of it. So um, you know not everyone's a great student, and so you can again lead them in the right direction, and hopefully they'll pick that up and they'll continue it and make it something. um,
So
yeah,
I've got one more question for you, if you don't mind.
go ahead.
And it's yeah, when you're trading, do you trade other things other than Bitcoin, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. So what is as a trader, as someone who's looking at indicators, at historic data, what
Yeah.
is in Bitcoin that is different and makes it unique
Yep.
than the rest of tradable assets?
Bitcoin, I mean, it's 24/7. It never sleeps. And there's just some magic to it. There's some mojo to it. For me, it's different because I've got such muscle memory with Bitcoin. I mean, I look at it 16, 17 hours a day, not like, not continually, but I'm always monitoring it. So I have a feel for it. I have a muscle memory. I have an instinct. And I've traded it now actively for more than 5 or 6 years. So I've just got a good feel for it. And that's kind of the thing that I tell people is whatever you're trading, it needs to come from your watch list, right? Not someone else's tweet, right? You need to have your watch list. It's a small watch list. You've studied those charts. So when something happens, when volatility happens, you can contextualize that volatility. You can understand what these moves mean. So for me, what's different is that I get Bitcoin. I feel like I get Bitcoin. And what's cool for me as well is I've done all this studying, I've read textbooks, I've done CMT level 1, and I've found that all this like 100-year-old trend analysis stuff works on Bitcoin. It's crazy. We have an actively traded market,
Thank you, man. That's what I was trying to get to. Wow, yes.
you
Wow,
know.
finally.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, we have an actively traded market and it functions based on supply and demand dynamics. And it works and it's fun. It's fun that it works and it's satisfying. And I like being really good at something. And I try to micro specialize in the Bitcoin price chart. And so I try to be really good at that. And so that's for me, that's what's different about it is that it trades all the time, it works, and I feel like I know it really well.
And that's part of what makes it actually, like perfect in the sense of trade analysis. Is that, do you think, or do you feel that is because of the symmetric information availability across everyone, the accessibility of information where no one has more or any special information that can put them beyond in this competition or above
Yeah,
others?
we all have access to the same information, but we have different discipline. and we have different approach. But what's nice is we can both look at the chart, and you can think it's bearish, I can think it's bullish, and that's how we make a market, right? We need disagreement, and I embrace the disagreement, right? I don't get mad when someone has a different view than me. I embrace it, I love it, right? So we need people thinking that something should be higher or should be lower, and that makes the market. But nobody really has an edge, because anybody can read the textbooks, anybody can practice. The only real edge is if someone has kind of an inherent discipline. Somebody who's really disciplined and focused and manages the risk, they're just going to do better. And so maybe they have that edge, but they have the same access to everybody else. They can design their approach. They can do pure chart, or they can do indicators. They can do on chain. They can use open interest. They can use order book. Kind of take your pick, find your style. Mine's more simple. It's just based on the four corners of the chart plus sentiment, and so that's my style. But really, anybody can do it, but you need discipline, and awareness helps too. You really need to be self-aware. You need to be aware of your emotions. Like one of the things I say is, if you buy something, for a trade, if you buy something and you immediately feel uncomfortable, then you probably have too much money in that play. And some people may not even recognize that they're feeling uncomfortable, and then they'll lose money, they'll make a mistake. So kind of, some people who are not only disciplined but also self-aware and self-monitoring, they have an advantage as well.
Absolutely, beautifully said, man. Beautifully said. Wow.
Sure.
So it seems like technical analysis is just, Bitcoin especially is proving that when you have equal and symmetric information across all the players in this game theory, everyone, you are better able to predict the human behavior, especially in a market like Bitcoin, and that's a leap forward in the study of economics. Beautifully said.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I appreciate that, man. Have you checked out my YouTube yet? Have you been there?
No, not really. I will do that. I will do that just now, and I'll
Check out my
subscribe.
YouTube and check out Bitcoin Live. The sale we have right now is unbelievable. I'm really proud of the work we do there.
Awesome, man. Will do.
Appreciate you, brother. Folks, step up. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love for you to join the conversation. These Twitter spaces go on as long as I have people who want to speak, as long as I have people who want to talk and ask questions and add value, because that's what you're doing. So hit that button in the bottom left so you can join the conversation, and let's talk. Let's see what's going on. Apollo Bitcoin, I think we've talked before.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we've talked, right?
I think so.
How you doing, bud?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
That's good. I have a question about like indicators, systems, algorithms, whatever. It
Okay.
seems like everyone on Twitter has their own like algorithm. Oh, my indicator just flipped bullish,
I
whatever.
love
You've seen
that.
it before.
Don't you love that?
I know. It seems like we have a million of them.
That's good. That's a good thing. Yeah.
So yeah, so I've been into programming for a while, and I've just like back tested a few different indicators. Do you have any I don't
Yep.
know, tips or opinions on creating
Yes.
a system or algorithm?
No, I've never really done like algo stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
I think I tend to think less is more. I honestly think I've seen the best traders I've seen in my life, the vets. They really just use very few indicators, and they
Hmm.
tend to really just focus on things like, does the price hold support or not. If you're looking for some ideas, I'd say check out my masterclass webinar series, where I go through what my setup, the moving averages, what I use and why I use them, and I talk about kind of candlestick theory and how it applies. And maybe something in those videos might give you ideas, perhaps. But the thing about it, and why it's hard to kind of do those algos, is every signal is context. Every signal is context. It's not just a hammer. It's how, what came before the hammer. Was it sideways candles? Was it straight candles down? What's the volume on the candle? Where's that in relation to prior support and resistance? It's momentum. It's all this kind of nuance, and it's not always easy to even like explain just talking about it. That's where that muscle memory comes in, from kind of just watching it and get a sense of it.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to gauge the market like that. I guess
Yeah.
like you'll have people drawing some technical analysis lines on their chart and say, "Oh, this looks bullish to me," and others will draw the same lines and say, "Oh, it's bearish." And like,
Yep. Yeah.
it doesn't really make sense. There's not
Well,
really a
most of those
system
people
that
don't know
will
what they're
say one
talking
thing
about.
definite or not.
Most of those people don't know what they're talking about. Like, very few people have actually
Yeah.
studied professionally.
Okay.
Very
So
few people have
another question I
actually
have.
studied professionally. Yeah.
Yeah. So another question I had was about Twitter, and like other than
I'm
I
a fan.
guess
I'm a
Twitter,
fan of Twitter.
Telegram, Discord, everything. What other platforms would you use or thing you'd use to gauge market sentiment?
I only need Twitter. I mean, if you'll note, and I'll toot my own horn, like I've had a really good feel on sentiment just using
Mm-hmm.
Twitter. I didn't get into the price bottom in Bitcoin. I got in at 18.5, but I pointed out the sentiment bottom right around 16K. And so maybe it's just the people I follow and how I follow them. But Twitter for sentiment, Twitter's like all I personally need. I feel like if you get into things like Discord rooms and Telegram, you're getting much more into kind of self-selected ecosystems, self-selected kind of villages or little ecospheres of people who are like-minded, and it might kind of slant your view,
Yeah, that's
on
exactly right. If
sentiment.
you're in some server, you're gonna have some
Yeah,
groupthink bias or something.
it's exactly right. So,
Yeah.
and what's cool with Twitter is like you get stuff also from people you don't follow because it's people who you follow, they follow, and so kind of you get, oh, so and so liked the tweet, and so you see it, and just because you get information from people outside of your immediate circle, and kind of Twitter does that for you. It forces that information upon you. So the power of Twitter and for sentiment, and so it's just been sentiment. Just you can get a good read on that. I think at least I can. I've had a good experience with that just using Twitter.
Right. I guess speaking of Twitter followers, I guess,
Yeah.
like, did you notice once you started gaining Twitter followers that you had some more success in the market?
It's a tough time because honestly, for me it was different. So here's what I did. I started out on Twitter in like 2014. Like I was on since 2010, but in 2014 I started posting charts, and from 2014 to 2017 I grew to 10,000 followers. And then November 20, and then I discovered crypto in 17. That's also when I discovered that I had cancer. And early 18, I was going through chemo, and I started to blow up because I was networking and I was leaning hard into crypto and putting out like a lot of great charts. I wasn't trading that well because I was like, life kind of sucked. So I was growing fast, but I wasn't trading that well or trading that much. But I was analyzing it clean. So it wasn't that like my follower number went up and all of a sudden I started trading better. No, like my account blew up while my trading was like mostly break even, honestly, during that period of time for me. Because I was in survival mode. So there
Right.
wasn't like a correlation for me personally with that. It was fun. I felt good. I felt valued. I felt like I was adding value. I felt like I had a place. I had an identity. I was a crypto teacher. I was a trader. I was whatever you want to call it, influencer or educator. And so that was value. That helped me out. That made me feel good. But it
Okay.
wasn't that like I had, I went from 10K to 80K and all of a sudden my trade started working. No, it wasn't the case.
So would you attribute your like Twitter follower gain to just posting better charts and good tweets other than like actually having successful trades?
Oh, it's just consistency and honesty. Like I have never deleted a bad chart call. I'm just like, hey, look at this bad call, and people are like, whoa, we love you, and I'm like, okay, like people appreciate that. I'm consistent, and it's because of when I started out, a couple people helped me. I had a couple mentors that helped me out, and that made a difference. So I started the approach of helping new traders avoiding my old mistakes. And that's always been my tagline. I started beginners. I had a blog with beginners information. I just kind of leaned into that and I found my niche and I kind of just leaned into that. And I stayed consistent. And, my wife's like, what are you doing? Why are you on Twitter all day? I'm like, well, give me some time. We'll see where this goes. So I just stuck at it, man. I've been on it 16 hours a day for years. And sometimes I got to step away, and I did that a lot earlier this year. I worked crazy hard last year, and I published that third book, and I stepped away a bit, and I picked up a couple hobbies, and that's been great. And now I'm jumping back in a little bit here for the summer, and we'll see what happens with Bitcoin. But it's just consistency, it's hard work, it's honesty, and being good too. I'm just proud of my analysis, and I think it's held up really well.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's always good to hear you talk. I'll let someone else have the stage now.
Thanks, buddy. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, you
Appreciate
too.
it. Great questions. So, folks, we got some speaking slots available right now. Hit that button in the bottom left. that will bring you up into the conversation. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your questions, your comments, and your feedback. I want to see how you're doing. Let's talk about the charts. Let's talk about trade identification, risk management, whatever you want to talk about. While I'm waiting for you, that's you. I'm talking to you right now, the person who's hearing my voice. Hit that button in the bottom left to request to speak. I'll do a quick reset. I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. I'm on YouTube at Cheds Trading. You want to start out with the playlist, masterclass webinar playlist. There's another great playlist. Trading Wisdom 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. That's a third of my best-selling book available for free. I'm the author of Trading Wisdom 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know, that came out in 2021. I have a third of that book up for free on YouTube. I'm narrating, one chapter at a time and talking about it. I think you will enjoy that. This Twitter Spaces will go into the playlist Twitter Spaces. I've got 30 of them uploaded. I'll upload the rest later. I am also a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. I've been doing market updates there for 5 years. And for over 4 years, I haven't missed an update. I do one twice a week, Wednesday and Sunday night. Doesn't matter if I'm sick, I'm on vacation, I'm traveling, I stop, laptop, microphone, I look at the market. Incredibly proud of the work we do there. We have our sale right now, 5-year anniversary sale. It's a ridiculous deal. You definitely want to consider checking it out. You can see free videos, some prior reports that are free on that public blog as well, if you want to get a sense of what we do at Bitcoin Live. Really, really proud of that. So I would encourage you folks to check that out. There's about 5 days left in the sale. Hit the button in the bottom left. I want to hear you speak. I know there's more of you who are kind of on the fence. You're not sure, should I hit that button? What's going to happen? You don't want to sound silly. It doesn't matter. We're just hanging out. We're just having fun. 150 people. I know there are more than one person who has something to say, who wants to say something. Go ahead and do it. Add value. Join the conversation. Coach, what's up, Coach Chad? What's cracking, man? How you doing?
What's cracking, man? Right on, man. I appreciate it, Cheds. Hey, I got a question. I'm just about to get on the field here, coach these kids, man, down here in Chile.
Chile,
Chile, baby.
¿Qué anda, señor? ¿Qué onda?
Ah, man. Todo bien, baby. Todo bien. Todo bien.
Oh, siempre, primo.
Ah, okay, man. Okay, man. So somos primos ahora.
That's all
okay,
I got.
Bien.
That's like my 4 words right now. All right.
That's great, man. I'm still working on mine. I have baseball Spanish, so that's what I go with.
Okay.
Right on.
What what do they say? Run like
Corre.
Yeah. Or like, how about like hustle up?
Yes.
You say like rapido and stuff?
Yeah,
or
duro,
what? Like,
duro, strong, go.
Duro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, rapido,
All right.
duro, corre, all that fun stuff. Oh yeah, man. Definitely.
All right.
Good stuff, man. You get me all pumped up with these guys.
I love it.
Right back at you. Hey, I got a quick question for you because I saw you on here. I was like, all right, Cheds is available, man. Let's talk to him real quick.
Cheds is available, folks.
Yes.
You hear that, folks?
Yeah.
Join the conversation. Cheds is available. What's going on?
Definitely. I'm more of a sentiment trader. I think we've spoke about this before. Okay.
Yes.
So
totally.
The charts, I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable with them, but I'm more of a sentiment, a feel kind of guy. And it's worked very well, but it's also, hurt me in the past, as any investor trader would admit. Okay. So what I'm asking you is, if I feel good about a particular coin investment and I feel like the sentiment is there, how would you, and I know I've watched one of your videos on this, but I just want to get a personal one on this. If I have, say, $5,000 to put into a trade, okay, how do I structure it? If I'm feeling very good sentiment wise about this coin or investment doing well, percentage wise, so that I'm comfortable with it, because sometimes I feel like I do too much at one time. Does that make sense?
Well, tell me more about that. Like, so what do you mean by what is your concern that you're doing maybe wrong? Like too much. What does it mean to do too much?
Well,
like over trading it, or too big a position size?
Too big a position size at the beginning. I feel good about it, but I always feel like I have to go bigger at the beginning if I feel like it's something that I think is going to do well. So I don't want to ladder up and lose gains. But I've also come.
You should want to add to a winner.
Yes.
When the trade breaks, when you're in a long and it breaks resistance,
Mhm.
And it confirms your trade idea, you should be so happy to add to that, because you want to add to your winners and cut your losers. And, you want to design your approach to give yourself flexibility. You really want to give yourself flexibility, right? I'm trying to think of like a good baseball analogy. Maybe I don't have one. But I don't have a good one. But
That's
so
all
you
right.
want
That's all right. Yeah.
when you start your position, first of all, your position size should never be one that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Yep. Like if you get in and it's too big, you're gonna F it up. You're gonna mess it up if your position size is too big. So figure out a position size you're comfortable with to start. And also, I'd like to say you want to do 5,000. I'd break it up into 5 $1,000 positions for the exact same trade.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then you can move them to different stop loss levels. If the price moves up, you can kind of move 2 of them into profit, maybe leave 1 at break even, leave 2 back at your original stop loss. So find ways to add flexibility to your approach and be comfortable adding to your winners if it breaks resistance, because you're right. Your whole job is you want to find a trend and ride it.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And if you've got a good sentiment read, lean into that. Right. Lean into the things that make you more confident. Because it's really, confidence will lead you to success. And when you find yourself not confident, when you find yourself second guessing yourself, when you find yourself flustered because of the emotion, like get out of that trade, get out, right?
Absolutely.
So
I appreciate that. No, that's that, and that's kind of, you want a baseball analogy, man. I work with kids all the time that working. I was a minor league pitcher before, so I work with kids, and I say, hey, if they're not hitting your fastball, why are you throwing curveball? Right. So if they're not, like, ride your winners is what I'm getting from that. Okay. So what I'm saying is that, like, if it is something that you get a good feel on, this kid is crowding the plate and you can throw him inside fastballs all day long and he won't hit you, then then that's, maybe it's a terrible analogy, but I'm a baseball guy, so maybe that's what I got for you.
Decent analogy. That's a decent analogy. Yeah.
But what?
Well, no. How about this? How about like a guy steps up to the plate and maybe don't swing at that first pitch.
Okay. Right.
Maybe take a pitch, right, and kind of see how they're trying to set you up.
Right.
What they're setting you up for, and maybe let the guy throw that first ball. Now all of a sudden there's a little more pressure just for them to kind of land the strike, maybe in the second, third pitch.
Yeah, you want to see how it comes out of his hand. You want to see how it feels.
All that stuff.
All that good stuff.
Yes.
Definitely. Right on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. We talked some baseball on Cheds Space, dude. I love it. Awesome.
There you go. There's analogies. I got an analogy for everything, brother.
Excellent. All right, man.
All right.
Good stuff. Great stuff. Appreciate you, Cheds. All right, man. Hey,
good luck, man.
Get it. We'll sign off, man, from south of the equator. All right, man. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Nos vemos,
amigo. Ciao.
All right. See you, buddy. Hit that button, folks. There's a button in the bottom left. It's like a microphone button. We're just hanging out. If you have stage fright, don't. I'm your friend. You're my friend. We're just talking. We're hanging out. That's what I love about this format is it's personal. I can hear your voice. You can hear my voice. We can kind of flesh things out. What's up, Sanchez? How you doing, Sanchez? What would you like to say?
Hello, Cheds. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, man. How you doing?
Good. Hope you're doing well.
Good. Thank you. Yep.
I'm a fairly new trader. I've been trading for about a year now.
Okay.
I've been following your style.
Good.
But I've watched like 3 out of your 4 masterclass videos.
Very good.
And I've noticed you don't really mention Fibonacci levels.
I don't.
Maybe
I
you
do
don't
not
use it.
I don't. I do not use them. No.
Just wondering your input on them and why you don't use
them. So I think they're fine. Fibonacci. So I don't use Elliott waves. I don't use Fibonacci levels. I kind of eyeball it. Like I get a sense of where like the 50% retracement is, or the golden pocket. I get a sense. For me, I found that I don't need it. I don't use it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the people who do. And I think, like, for example, there are wonderful traders who use the MACD, and I don't use the MACD, and I really don't use the RSI. I don't like it. But there's probably way better traders than me. Maybe some who are listening who use it, and so we need to have room for different styles. I will tell you, in my system, I do use Fibonacci numbers for my moving averages, like the 8 and the 34. right? And I use those as kind of a primary and a secondary support. And then when they cross, so I'll kind of use those Fibonacci numbers, 8 and 34. I don't use the 21 because, it would be kind of a double because I'm already using the Bollinger Bands with the middle Bollinger, right? The MA20. So Fibonacci's are good. And I know some really good traders who use them. One of the guys on Bitcoin Live, Dean See the Light, he uses Fibs, and he's an unbelievable trader. The guy's like a super vet. By the way, you should. I mean, this is the time for you to try Bitcoin Live. By the way, like the deal is ridiculous, and you get 3 months for $27. It's kind of insane. And we have some really great Fibonacci traders on Bitcoin Live. I'm just not one of them. And which I think is a great value because you get to kind of see all sorts of different approaches, and then kind of form the style that works for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if I'm doing well without it, would you recommend that I just don't use it, or maybe just give it a try and see what happens?
Well, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? As they say. But experimenting's okay. I mean, I think you should want to experiment. And I find that I tended to, I haven't read a trading textbook in maybe like 6 months or a year, but I found that when I read, like a trading textbook, I'll try some stuff out from that. So you may want to, like, if you pick up a good classical charting book or a Japanese candlestick book or like a CMT level 1 or whatever, Bollinger and Bollinger Bands, or even Peter Brandt's book, his trading journal book, Diary of a Commodities Trader. You may, it's good to experiment. I do that after you've read like a book and it's giving you a little bit of information, but I wouldn't necessarily just like change something that's working just for no reason either.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Check out Bitcoin Live. I'm telling you, brother. All right.
All right.
Appreciate you. All right. We have speaking slots available, folks. This is a great conversation so far, 140 people, but this will only go as long as you join the conversation. I'm not going to sit here and talk to myself. If I keep doing that, they're going to put me in a straitjacket, right? They're going to lock me up somewhere, and then I can't tweet. I can't do these spaces. I can't do these YouTube videos, and then everybody loses. So you need to do your part. And I'm literally begging you. I'm literally here begging you, a grown man begging you to join the conversation. Hit that button in the bottom left to request to speak. It's an Ask Me Anything segment. That's it. So we're going to sit here all together. We're going to sit here and wait for people to join the conversation. I need more of you to step up and request to speak. Go ahead and do that. Hit that button, and we're going to wait until we get a couple more people to join the conversation. All right, Adam, what's up, Adam? What would you like to say today, brother?
Hey, Cheds, I appreciate you, Bitcoin Live and Bob Lucas. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I'll probably try the 3 months trial. It's quite very cheap. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I mean, even at normal price, it's an amazing value at normal price. It's the best team in the world that studies crypto.
Yeah, but people like me who work like 8 hours a day, do you need to dedicate the time, or can you just do it like a couple of hours a day? Or
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, for me, I do a twice a week video. I record the market update, and, I have my friends in Europe who watch it the next morning. And the idea for my updates is it kind of gets you through the next few days, and we talk about what to watch. We talk about what levels to watch, and I do all your requests. People ask questions in the comments. I answer all the questions.
Okay.
People do requests. That's the format. So it's not like you have to watch at this time and it's going to interrupt the timing of your life. It's like I want to watch a great update, and I want to learn. I want to get better, and that's what it's all about.
Okay. Do you also recommend if you guys are going long or short or bearish or bullish?
Yeah, I mean, what I do is I'll mention what I would do. Here's what I'll do if we get to this level.
Okay.
Here's what I am doing. I talk about what I am doing. I talk about what I would do. I talk about each setup, how to approach it. And I'm just one guy. Like, there's the whole team. So you get different approaches as well, which I think is the value of it. I will say you can go watch right now, like my March 13th video is, you can just watch it for free in the public blog. You can check that out. I've tweeted out full reports in the past. You can kind of get a sense of what we do as well before signing up. So that's all there for you.
Okay. Oh, excellent. Yeah. So what's your opinion now for, this debt ceiling now, the market for the next couple of days? Do you think it's bearish? Are we going up or down?
I mean, are we talking about equities or are we talking about Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
I mean, Bitcoin's still ranging, but it's consolidating above the key high time frame level, which is 25.5K. Bitcoin is
Yeah.
bullish above 25.5K. And it needs a little bit more time to consolidate, which is fine. If you think about it, making 100% move off the bottom
Yeah.
in a matter of just, weeks, in a matter of a couple months, it's going to need to pause and consolidate, allow the oscillators to catch up. And that's what we're doing. So we're very, very much bullish. And if we get back below 25.5, I'd be a little bit more cautious, but I might even be looking for a brief dip below and then a recapture back up above. So I'm inclined to buy a dip if we get a dip from here. And I would say bulls are definitely still in control.
Yeah, that's what Bob Lucas also said, isn't it? There will be a dip probably before August and then rip after that.
Mm-hmm. And Bob's
I think,
Bob,
yeah.
what's great about Bob is a longer term trader. He's a cycles trader. And I do a lot of like daily, like let's talk the next 4, 5, 6 candles. And Bob has a good feel on like the medium and long term view, and he's really good. So you kind of get all, the short term, the medium, and the long term from all the different contributors.
Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you very much.
I thank you. Great to hear from you, man.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Folks, you got to join this conversation. I do not want to end the spaces this early. It's only been like 45 minutes. I usually go at least an hour and 15 minutes. We have 130 people listening. All right. So you're going to have to hit the button to request to speak. And I'm going to sit here and wait for the next person to join. It's asking me anything. Bitcoin market. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your questions, your comments, your feedback. Let's talk about the market, trade identification, all that good stuff. So I'm just going to pause for a minute while we fill up the speaker slots. Rabbit, what's going on, man?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about
Not
you?
too bad. I have a question. I would like to ask one question about KYC and non-KYC Bitcoin. Is that possible?
Of course. I'll do my best to answer. If I don't know, I'll take any question. If I don't know the answer, I'll just tell you straight
Oh,
up. I'll tell you exactly, if I know or I don't.
amazing. Thanks. So the question is, if I have, obviously, I keep my KYC and non-KYC Bitcoin on a different wallets because I've learned that
Yeah.
already. But the question
Good.
is, if I want to sell my KYC Bitcoin, for example, on Coinbase, and exchange it
Okay.
for fiat, and then I would like to buy, I have an option to buy non-KYC now and transfer to my other wallet. Is that make me more safe now and secure?
Well, that's a great question. This is a more difficult topic. Like, I'd love to have one of my friends like Tur Demister on here, or even like Alex Kruger. There's a bunch of other great people in the space. I micro specialize on the Bitcoin price action, and I teach, Eastern and Western TA, classical charting, Japanese candlestick analysis, trading psychology, risk management, that type of thing. I'm not really great with like telling you good custody solutions, hardware wallets, stuff like that. It's not my area of specialty. So I just would say that that's one of the things. It's we have a still the nascent or kind of a newer space, and where does the average person safely hold their coins? And we have that news out with like recently with like Ledger, and potentially like there's like a backdoor into your hard wallet. I mean, that's kind of scary. So I don't really have a great answer, Rabbit, to your question. I'll just be honest about that. I don't know.
Anyway, thank you for the answer. I already get rid of my ledger. and I've got Bitbox 2 Bitcoin only edition, which I assume is very good and very secure. And I did the research before I bought that wallet, and now I'm happy owner. So
Good.
thanks
Well,
anyway.
I'm happy. I'm happy to have you in the space. Yeah, make sure to check out my YouTube. Have you been to my YouTube yet?
No yet. I just freshly joined.
What? Where you been? Where you been?
I've been listening a lot.
Good, good. Check out my YouTube and definitely check out Bitcoin Live. We have a wonderful sale right now. All right.
Will do. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Cheers.
you, man. Hey, Coach, did you want to say something quick before your game started?
Hey, really quick. Yeah, thanks. I just sent the guys on a run. They're about on their way back. Hey, I'm, sorry. You know what you said? Hey, man, you need people up here. I'm like, damn, I got it. I mean, I love talking with you about,
Sure.
just about stuff, but, for everyone in the space, man, jump on this, man. I mean, this is an opportunity, man, to ask those questions, man, seriously, and to get those those feelings inside you, man, out about to give you a little bit more confidence as you go forward. So, my question is, and when you said you're a founding member of Bitcoin Live, how did you guys come together? That's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah. So I was actually it came to me at a really critical time in my life where I was going through chemo and I was at a tough point in my life, and I was actually approached by Bob Lucas. He's the owner of Bitcoin Live, and he's like, hey, I have this site. It's with Peter Brandt and these other like veteran traders, and I'd love to have you like be an analyst. And they came to me because I had a blog. I had a beginner's blog, Cheds Trading Blogspot, and I had all these like articles for teaching new traders risk management. And they said like, this guy's got some good educational material, and they saw me responding to people in tweets and answering questions, and they were like, oh, this guy's really good. And I was like, wow, you've thought of me, and I was honored. And I tried to live up to that. And I tried to get better so I could kind of fill the role of even who they thought I was. So I read textbooks, and I went through and I did CMT, and I studied TA professionally. And now I feel like my analysis is as good as any of my contemporaries, and I'm super proud of the work I do and proud of the work we do there. So I'm really putting my heart into it. I'm super proud of Bitcoin Live.
Great stuff, man. Right on. Excellent, man. And you can see that it has paid off, man. And we appreciate it, man. All right.
All right.
All right. Time to go play some ball, man. All right.
You got it, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. All right. NIZJS.
Yeah, man. How's it going?
What's up? How you doing? Pretty good.
Thanks. So I don't know if I have much of a question, but maybe I do. I think I'm not an active trader. I'm not as smart as you, but I do buy and hold BTC and
that might be smart. That might be smarter than what I'm doing. Like time will tell. So don't cut yourself short.
Okay. Yeah. So I buy and hold, and I just want to get your thoughts on two things. First, if you think there will be another bull run, or this whole SEC and all the environment that's going on is just going to really hurt us in the United States. That's maybe my first question. And then the second question is, if somebody wants to learn trading, what would be the best, maybe your course or?
Well, yeah. First of all, I'll answer the second one first. I have most of what I do is free, right? Like I offer like non-free stuff for people who like the free stuff, right? So like you can go to my YouTube channel and there's just like probably 100+ hours of free stuff that like is really top level alpha. Like start with the masterclass playlist series, and then go to the Twitter Spaces. There's 30 of these that you can listen to. They're like an hour, 2 hours each. I mean, and that's a lot of time, but it's just question and answer. And then there's my market updates. I do tweets explained, where I like explain my tweets. I put out a lot of like academic stuff on Twitter, and then I'll explain it on YouTube. So like I've just like a ridiculous amount of body of like free stuff. So I would say start with my YouTube, for sure. I will say like the Bitcoin Live sale is ridiculous. Like this week, $27 for 3 months. So I mean, you might as well hop on that. And when you sign up, you can watch all my old videos there too. So that's kind of that part two. Part one, like Bitcoin's not going anywhere, and like the US, we tend to think we're like, like the whole world evolves or revolves around us, and maybe it does in some ways, but like Bitcoin is not just like a US thing. It's international. Its adoption will continue to grow. Yeah, we'll have another bull market, but it's not going to be like it was in the past, essentially, where we just we drop 80% and then we make a new all-time high. I actually see the price consolidating more. I see sideways for the rest of the year. I think we probably see a new all-time high, maybe like the end of next year would be my guess. So it's going to take some time to get there. It's going to chop people around. It's going to be frustrating, and we'll need time to consolidate. There will be a new bull run. Bitcoin does trend up. It does trend. It trends up. It's just going to be a slower pace of growth than I think some people maybe want, especially if they're trying to quote unquote, get rich overnight or whatever kind of, metaphor you want to use. So, whatever the SEC, administrations change here in the U.S. and we will eventually get more regulatory clarity that will allow for more business innovation. Custody will get easier. It'll be easier for people to custody. And, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. I think the powers that be, if they were going to kill Bitcoin, they would have done it in its early stages. I think it's too late for that. And so I think Bitcoin will stick around. It will have another bull run, but it will come later than people think. And it will be kind of a less violent bull run. It'll be kind of a more slow and steady type of a move, would be my best guess.
Are you able to put out a number or a prediction? But those are typically very not
useless. They're typically incredibly
yeah.
useless. But I'm happy to make one. What would you like me to predict?
I want you to predict 100,000 BTC because that's when I feel like, oh, we did it.
2025, maybe April 2025, maybe
Yeah.
June
I think
2025.
this
Sure.
bear market, a lot of people got burnt by Voyager, Celsius, all those exchanges,
big
and that's
time.
a shame, But
Absolutely. But the story keeps on going, brother.
Thank you.
Great. Start with my YouTube. You'll love it.
Yep.
All right. Let's go. Next we have Weiss.
Mr. Hey, what's going, Cheds? How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for joining.
That's good, man. I have a two-parter question. First of all, for Bitcoin Live, I'm gonna go ahead and sign up. This is a great deal. I was wondering if I sign up for it, could I also cancel it before that $300 charge for the next quarter? Awesome. Thank you for that. And then second, I'm gonna be honest. This is just a little contradicting thing because I love your thesis as far as above 18.5 I've been listening to for a while. You said it doesn't even matter what you think psychologically. This is just the trend, and you've been right. Even when it's like, and I'm such a bear, you have no idea. I follow XOSC. So it's like I want to think about accumulating lower prices. Then I'm looking at where we're at right now. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, so I'm definitely okay with being wrong. I do think that and this is not like a logical thing, it's just my bias. I do think that what you said, I think a while ago about if we go under 25K, maybe the bear thesis might be activated. And if that does happen, I do think we bottomed. I think that maybe if 19, 20K comes back, I'm thinking about going heavy. That being said, I still like where alt prices are right now to even enter if I'm wrong. So I just want to know what you think about if we do enter 20, like I'm literally talking about 25 flat. And then what's your thesis on that?
Yeah, it's a great point. So I lean on my classical charting background, which is looking at the weekly chart, which is for me the most acceptable. So I'll answer this kind of academically. The longest term chart that I will use is a weekly chart because for me the monthly is still too young. We don't have a 200 moving average yet, and in classical charting, the 200 is the trend. So I look at the weekly chart. We have an uptrend. The price is above a rising, 200. That's an uptrend. And so on the weekly chart, it just completed an inverted head and shoulders, right? And with the shoulder being kind of a wide left or a multiple shoulders left with kind of the June 2022 lows and the September 22 lows, right around 18.5, 19K. And you see how the price dropped below that level and eventually recaptured it. And then when it recaptured it back in early January was when I abandoned my bear thesis. And I announced on Twitter, I'm going live, and I announced like this is a long signal when the price broke up above 18.5, right? And that formed the head, right? We bounced, we rejected in February 2023. And so now I'm going to get to your point about the 20K because you kind of identified a good spot. If you look in the weekly chart, we formed that beautiful hammer candle, small candle body with a lower shadow, at least 2 times the size of the body. And so the low of that wick on the March 6th candle was right off the MA20, right at basically 20K. So if you're a bull and you're looking at this chart and you really think it definitely needs to hold 25K, if it doesn't hold 25K, 20K comes into play because that is the higher low that the price has marked. That's the line in the sand the price has drawn, right? When it made that violent move, really from 25K down to 19.2 in like a matter of 2 or 3 weeks. So I think you're right in your approach in that if we break below 25K, you would definitely want to buy right at around 19.5 to 20K. I could see it dropping down to 20K. I could see it briefly dipping below. Everyone's panicking. The sky is falling. It's over. That's when you're like, wow, I really like the sentiment here. I like how bearish the sentiment is. And I like how we're going to briefly dip below and probably bounce off of that level. That would need to hold, right? But I would be cautious myself personally below 25K. And I would kind of wait and see, do we drift all the way back down to 20K at that point? And so I tend to be really patient as a trader. I tend to wait for the price to interact with major levels, and that allows me to avoid getting chopped out too much.
I appreciate all the info. And also, yeah, I would say this, like, I'm going so heavy under 20K if we do face that again under 25K.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so nice to not be a trader anymore. This is not my thing.
Yeah.
I would say I'm decently profitable, but not enough for all the stress. I can't wait to set and forget.
I hate the stress.
Stress. It's not worth it. And I'm like, my eyes got black eyes. And I'm like, let me just set and forget for years and call it a day. And let's all just be happy.
I hear you, man. Well, I think you need to manage your own emotional health, your mental health. I think it's incredibly important. And if you're trading, that's where position size comes into play. And, again, I said it a couple times in the spaces. If you enter a position and you feel uncomfortable, you probably have too much money in that play. So you may find that it's easier for you to trade smaller position sizes, and then you still can kind of continue to hone that skill and get better at it. So think about position size as well. I think that's a really important thing.
Thank you so much, Cheds. I hope you enjoy your rest of your day.
Thank you, bro. Check out my YouTube.
I will.
All right. Peace out. Peace out. Let's go to Winter.
Hey, Cheds.
Hey, good to see you again. How you doing?
All right, you. I'm really gotta say, I gotta hand it to you. All the free content you're putting out is amazing, and your battle with cancer, that's inspiring as hell.
Thank you, friend. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
I was kind of more, just think we've hashed over Bitcoin to death pretty much, but
yeah,
I was just wondering what you thought about like the equity and bond markets.
Okay.
Macro seems to be saying everything's bearish, but the technicals are kind of indecisive.
Macro's so useless. Like macro is so useless. What does it mean? Like macro is like someone's opinion on what like the price may do down the road. And I just find so little value in macro talk personally, it's just like, it doesn't do anything for me. But right. It's just a matter of when you're entering whatever market you're trading. And, like if you bought the COVID lows, then you're sitting great, but if you loaded up in the market equities, November of 2021, you're not so happy. So it often comes to time horizon and you kind of when you've entered. I just see people right now getting jerked around with this debt ceiling talk. I mean, they're going to raise the debt ceiling. They always do, and recession's coming and all this stuff. I mean, all right, well, like if you're worried about all that stuff, just focus on the chart because the price is the best fundamental analyst there is. The price either holds support or not. And at the end of the day, I found that approach has served me really well, and it's helped me to again not stress as much. So I mean, that's how I would think about it.
Yeah. So like with regards to that and like current positioning, theoretically, would you like be, all in equities? Would you be 30% in cash? Would you be XYZ?
I'm buying equities. I've been buying equities. I'm buying dividend stuff. There's some really nice charts that are at like monthly support levels that are paying like 5-6%. Companies that have been around like as long as I've been around and are probably going to be around, and I can hold them and maybe pass it on to my daughter one day. I'm definitely buying stuff that I'm comfortable holding. And if it goes lower, I can add into it because like, Coca-Cola's not going anywhere.
Yeah, what do you think about like the disparity between like the Dow and the Nasdaq? I mean, the
tech
has been all-time highs and everything else.
People are hiding out. People are hiding out in tech, and but tech's always interesting as well. It's got all the buzzwords and AI, and it's easier for tech to ramp up and kind of capture these kind of momentum moves, when something's happening. And tech's always exciting. I think you always get kind of higher beta. It's not sexy to buy like industrial stuff, and nobody wants to buy Triple M, and stuff like that, Caterpillar or whatever. But but there's way better spaces to talk about this stuff. There's way better spaces in YouTube's. This isn't really my thing. I'm not a great fundamental analyst, and I'm not even like a great equities, analyst. But I think cool. I think there's value in equities, and I think if you're willing to buy and hold, it's not going anywhere. Like the rich people who run this country and the world, like they're not going to let like the market crash and like go anywhere. I mean, where do you think they have their money? So I don't know. That's what I think.
So you're not looking for 3,200 on the S&P or anything?
Well, let me take a look. Let me just take a quick look. Let's look at the S&P chart real quick. SPX. Pull up the weekly chart. I mean, it's a bullish chart. Like, who's talking about 3,200? This is a bullish chart.
Oh, Mike Wilson, guys.
Are you kidding me? I mean, whatever. This is a bullish chart. I mean, this thing is coiling. This is bumping up into resistance, right around 42, 43. This thing wants to go higher. This thing wants 43 or higher. I mean, this is a bullish chart. Why would you talk about 3,200? There's nothing in this chart that suggests that.
Macro.
I mean, no. I mean, if it gets to 3,500, it's got a ton of support there. I mean, but that's way lower. It's just a bullish chart. Like, what is up with people? And so you can always find a story to satisfy your bias. And that's just going to get you into trouble. I mean, that's crazy talk on this chart. Like, that guy doesn't know anything. The market's already priced in anything he knows. You have to remind yourself of that. Like the market, if we're talking about it, the market's already priced it in. It's pricing it in. So, you got to tune out the noise. Let the price be your fundamental analyst. That's how I think about it. All right.
Awesome. Thanks.
Cheers, bro. Check out my YouTube. Check out Bitcoin Live. All right.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Peace out, bro. Let's go to Pepe in the house. Pepe Pete.
Hey, Cheds, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, man. How's life treating you?
Great. You had just mentioned the 20K level for Bitcoin a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
I was wondering your thoughts on CME gaps and whether you think they need to fill, because I think there is one right around the 20K level.
They don't need to fill. And actually, I did a show with Scott Melker, Wolf of Wall Streets, today. He had his co-guest, Chris Inks, who's like Texas West Capital. And so like that, that gap was a breakaway gap. When it breaks away from resistance, like not all gaps are created equally. You can study this in classical charting. There's a breakaway gap. There's a breakdown gap. All right. So have you ever seen a pattern in equities called like an island top? Or have you ever seen that before, an island bottom?
I have not.
So let's think about it this way. Let me try to like draw a visual, right? So let's say you've got a downtrend, right? I'll describe an island bottom. You got a downtrend, it's ticking down, and then one day it gaps way down, and it forms like a doji or something, or a small body spinning top, right? And then maybe it does another one the next day, and then it gaps back up. So you have a move down, a gap down, a little sideways, and then a gap up. And what you have there is a exhaustion gap and then a breakaway gap. So it's like the end of the move, where it basically creates an island where there's the price with just air. There's a window in candlestick analysis called a window, but there's a gap above it. Like not all gaps fill. Right now, what's called a common or a measuring gap, a gap that forms in the middle of a run, that's more likely to fill because you'll usually fill that gap and continue. So not all gaps are created equally. Not all gaps fill. I think Bitcoin's got CME gaps at like 3K or 6K, 9K. I mean, so like, I just don't think there's a lot of value in focusing on that. It doesn't really give you any information. And I think if you convince yourself, the danger is if you convince yourself that it's going to fill, now you're training your mind to ignore clues in the price right now. What things that are happening right now, right? Anytime you convince, even with like price targets, when you convince yourself of a price target, you're almost allowing yourself to take your eye off of what's happening right now and the information like right in front of you. So I just, not all gaps are the same. Not all gaps have to fill, and I just don't even look at that stuff, honestly, in my analysis, especially not CME gaps. No.
Awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. All right. We've had a great spaces here. I'll do a quick reset. If we get another person or two who want to speak by the time I finish, I will take them. I am Big Cheds on Twitter. I am on YouTube at Cheds Trading. I highly recommend the masterclass webinar series. To get started, this Twitter Spaces will eventually be uploaded into the Twitter Spaces playlist on YouTube. I've got 30. This is number 36. I have 30 of them uploaded already. I'm the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. That book sold like 15,000 copies, which is kind of crazy. I have a third of that book for free on my YouTube channel. It's me narrating one chapter at a time. You definitely want to check out that playlist. Great stuff on YouTube. I'll let you know as well. I published Trading Quotes back in December. I'm really proud of that book as well. It's book 3. I'm actually working on several other books. I'm working on a trading journal book, which will be book 4, which is it's actually a journal, like how to fill out a journal and why. And then it's trade setup examples, and then really blank entries for you to fill out. That's book 4. I'm working on a poker and trading crossover book. That's book 5. These things don't happen overnight. So stick around for the next couple of years, and I'll try to grind out those books for you. I am, of course, a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. We have the best team in the world that studies Bitcoin and crypto, hands down. And I do personally a twice-a-week full market report, Wednesday and Sunday night. I do not skip. I haven't missed one in over 4 years. On vacation, sick, traveling, I get in front of a computer, I do a report. When you sign up, you get access to everyone's content, not just my stuff, the whole team. And it's our 5-year anniversary right now. There's just a ridiculous sale. You get 3 months for $27. It's kind of nuts. It will renew. You can cancel before. I don't know why you'd want to. Even at regular price, it's an unbelievable deal. So that information is on my YouTube, on my Twitter page. It's also pinned to this spaces. You can watch free reports to kind of see what it from me and from other people on the public blog too. See what that's all about. I really put my heart and soul into it. Super proud of it. So that's why we're here. Hodl, let's get you in. I'll wrap it up with the last question or two. And that is that. Hodl, you were able to sneak in here. Buying Hodl 1. What would you like to say? How you doing? What would you like to say?
Am I on?
You are. You're on the radio. You're live.
How you doing, man?
How's it going?
Good.
Chilling.
I just had a really quick question.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of technical analysis people saying that we're going to be pretty bearish through this whole year, but then the banking the banking collapses started happening, and then
Yeah.
Bitcoin started to rise. So I was just
Sure.
I wanted to get your take on it. You think that we're going to have another run here to like over 30K and then drop down back in the fall, or what do you think?
I think it's hard to the longer you go out, the kind of less useful it is.
Okay.
You know, I think what we can do is we can take what we know now, right? And first of all, I would tell you, like, very few people, probably the ones you're following, very few of them have ever actually studied technical analysis professionally.
Right.
Like, most people don't know what they're talking about. For example, like a hanging man candle, people think it's bearish, but actually, 58% of the time it leads to bullish continuation.
Okay.
Or like an inverted hammer, they call it bullish, but it actually leads to bearish continuation 2/3 of the time. So, you can take advantage of you try to lean on your own analysis, which is really just based on what the price has done. There's great free resources out there. I tend to tweet out like who I like and what you should listen to. But we look at what we know. We know that the price topped off November 2021, and we talk about how it happened and why it happened and the signs of the weakening trend as it happened. And we kind of observed the price since then. And we observed a series of what are called mean reversions, where the price sold off too quickly, too fast, and it kind of bounced back to kind of the middle of the channel, reset everything, and then continued back down. And we had kind of that type of a consolidation continue for quite a while, right?
Yeah.
And it continued until when the price tried to flatten out in June of last year, right? and then we had the FTX collapse, and we had all these things happen. Then we had that May 12th bottom with the Bitcoin with stablecoin depegging, and the Luna collapse, and then the FTX collapse, right? And that's all in the midst of a downtrend. The price was downtrending, and the price was below. Then it got below the weekly 200 moving average, which is the trend, right? In classical charting, that's the trend, the 200 moving average. So the trend was really weakening long term, and it looked like Bitcoin was in serious trouble on the long term trend. And then something happened. We had a recapture, right? So we got back up above 18.5K. We did something where we recaptured lost support.
Okay.
And in TA and trend analysis, you always want to pay attention to when levels are quickly recaptured, right? So some of the best trades come from something called like a spring or an upthrust. And a spring is where you lose support and you kind of come back up again real quickly, and it kind of triggers people's stop losses. You always think about like the market's trying to screw people out of their position before it makes its ultimate move.
Right.
Or an upthrust where it breaks resistance and then it kind of comes back below resistance, right? So we had that spring, we had that deviation where we got back up above 18.5K. And I had been, so back in March of last year, when the price was around 40K, I started talking on Bitcoin Live and saying that I think we're going down below 20K, maybe down to 12, 14K. And it was kind of a crazy call at the time, but it made sense to me based on the direction of the trend. And we got all the way down to 15.5. And I noticed at 15.5, sentiment had started to turn around and sentiment had bottomed. So sentiment bottomed. It usually bottoms ahead of price. And sentiment bottomed in December, and then the price bottomed really a few weeks later, and we jumped back up above 18K. And when it did that, I realized that the bottom was in, and we were not going down to 12K, right? Because the trend had started to turn around, and then the trend continued, and we had a lower high break. We got above 21.5, we got above 22.5, and we formed on the higher time frame, which is the weekly chart, a reversal pattern called a head and shoulders, an inverted head and shoulders. And with a head and shoulders, and not to be too academic, but there's two things to look at. There's a level where that pattern confirms, and there's a level where that pattern invalidates. And it set up the right shoulder, and then it confirmed it broke above 25.5, and that confirmed the bottom was in. We're in an uptrend. We're back up above the MA 200 on the weekly, and now we're consolidating. We paused where we were logically supposed to pause. And I tweeted out as it happened at 30.5, I tweeted out like there's a short here. And the price rejected there, and it made sense because it's trading logically, and it's always traded logically. And we're now just consolidating essentially between 25K and 30K.
Okay.
It's still bullish, but it's a matter of when are you getting in. Like if you got in at 29, or 30K, it doesn't feel bullish. It doesn't really feel bullish, right?
Yeah.
But if you got in like at 18K, it's great, and you've taken some profit, but you still have a position. You want to buy a dip if we get one, right? But you want to buy a dip at a level where you can define, with any trade, you want to be able to define your risk, and that's the most important thing. So, for example, if we drop back to 25K, you can say, I'm long because we're retesting that neckline at 25K. But if we drop below like 24.5, I will get out, right? So now you've defined your risk.
Got it.
And if and let's say it does do that, and it drops down to like 23K, but now it comes back and bounces, gets back up above 25, you can go long again because the price is back up where it needs to be for it to be bullish. So you have to be a little bit flexible, but more importantly, you have to define your risk. At every single trade, you got to define your risk.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Right. So
Yeah.
if you want to learn TA, go to my YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm
new to this this space here, so I'm gonna definitely check out your YouTube.
Good.
Yeah.
Listen, Bitcoin Live, 5-year anniversary of Bitcoin Live. That's like the best team in the world that studies crypto. I mean, it's like super veterans.
Okay.
Classical charting, Japanese candles, and it's right. There's $27 for 3 months. I mean, it's normally $300, and even that is way underpriced.
For sure.
Like it's unbelievable team. So definitely consider checking that out. And even if you just join for the 3-month trial period, you can watch 500 videos from me alone. And like every video, I try to make educational. So I don't feel comfortable like selling myself, but like I would say you got to check it out. So
I will definitely, man. Well, thank you, man, for your answer.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, okay.
Appreciate you, man. Let's get a couple more in here, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Let me go to some dinner. Crypto Journey, we'll get you in real quick, and Diego will get you again real quick, and we'll wrap it up. Diego, you go first. What do you want to say, brother? Yo,
Cheds.
Yo, what's up,
okay,
brother?
good. Listen, Cheds, I wanted to know two things, actually. I'm about to sign up to Bitcoin Live, and I wanted to know two things. One, can you pay via PayPal? And two, I also wanted to know, based on your last answer here, how do you define your risk? Like, what do you base that decision on?
Yes, that's a good point. So hey, hold on 1 second. Crypto Journey, please don't unmute yourself. Wait until I call you, okay? So you can pay. I gotta remove you. So you gotta wait until I call your name to unmute. So you can pay with credit card or Bitcoin.
Okay.
I do not believe, but I will say, like, I'm not an admin. I don't
that's
handle
what I figured.
payments and like memberships and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do know there is, you can pay with Bitcoin or pay with credit card.
Okay.
So defining your risk is really interesting. And I try to talk about this a lot in everything I do. Every time I'm on someone else's YouTube show, I'm on Spaces, on Bitcoin Live, and all my YouTube videos. And I talk about this a lot in like Trading Wisdom. So there's a quote from my third book. And so if the reason you entered a trade no longer exists, then a reason to exit your trade now does exist. Right? Right. So for example, I'm in something, and I have a couple more people trying to speak. I'll get you up here. Please be patient. If I'm in something and it keeps hitting 100 resistance and it's rejecting, hitting 100 resistance and it's rejecting, and then it breaks through, and it's breaking through, and I'm going long. I'm going long because it's broken resistance. That's my trade idea. How do I define my risk? Well, if it gets back below 100, maybe I'll say like 96, 97. I'm gonna be out because I'm gonna recognize as soon as possible when my idea fails. You have to define your risk before it defines you, right? You can also take partials, like, so for example, you can sell if you're in a trade and it's going poorly and you're not sure what to do. You could sell part of it because every time you sell or you take profit, you make your remaining decisions easier because it represents a smaller percentage of your risk assets.
That makes sense. And you mainly look at the 4-hour charts, right?
Me? No, well, so time frames is a great question. I actually trade off the daily chart, but when I'm on the daily chart, I know what the weekly chart is doing.
Okay.
And if I'm at 4-hour, there's usually volatility. So the rule of time frames with classical charting is when you go to a lower time frame when the price is at a key level and or after volatility, that's when you are supposed to go down to a lower time frame.
Okay. All right, Cheds. Well, listen, it's been good listening to you again. As you saw, I stuck from the beginning to end. I felt like I had to redeem myself from that initial comment, which caught me off guard there. So
you're good,
anyway,
brother.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being back.
Thank you so much. We'll wrap it up. I'm going to get you last two in here real quick. Crypto Journey. I think we've had you before in the Spaces, if I remember correctly. Crypto Journey, what's going on?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can. I think we've spoken before. Is that right?
No, I've been on your Spaces before, but I've never taken on the mic, Chid. So yeah.
Okay. Where you been? Okay.
Yeah. I've been following you for a while. Thanks for
good.
Thanks for your Twitter information, everything you do for the community.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it. I've got a few questions here, if it's okay.
Yeah, fire away.
What's your bull market floor? 31K or 48K?
What do you mean? 1 second. Sorry about that. What do you mean? Can you rephrase the question? What is my bull market floor? Is that what you said?
Yes. If you look at a weekly chart or monthly chart, just wondering, where would you consider that we've entered a new bull market? Would it be?
We've already. I mean, we're in a bull market.
Okay, so you think we're in a bull market?
It's above a rising 200. Yeah, it's above a rising MA 200, and we just confirmed a reversal pattern, the weekly head and shoulders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you look at your weeklies and your MAs. You don't have actually set up levels. That's fair enough. That's cool.
No, I do. I mean, I've set up levels. I mean, I went long at 18.5. I talked about that on Twitter. There's also a beautiful long signal around 21K on the daily chart, that hammer candle that I tweeted and we talked about. And then you just had a new long signal at 25K,
Yeah.
25.5 when it confirmed the reversal.
Yeah, yeah, cool.
What else you got?
How much leverage do you use?
I rarely go more than 3x.
3x, fair enough. Bit large position, I guess, not needed, eh?
Honestly, I don't trade super large, but what I'll do is I'll take like whatever position I'm trying to do, and I'll break it up into so if I want to put in like $2,000, I'll do four or five, $500 positions to equal that total amount. I like to have a lot of little positions for the same trade that may add up to a decently sized position. But there's a lot of little positions that allow me then flexibility to move them around to different levels, because I always want to pay myself for a good idea. And I don't want to ever be in a position where I'm trying to decide, do I have to close the whole position? What do I do?
Yeah. So when you say different positions, so you open different position, or you DCA in once the trade goes your way?
No, I open the same trade,
but you add to it
different positions. Nope, it's literally it's like
okay.
I go long 5 times long. I go long 3x or whatever, 5 different times for the exact same moment.
Oh wow! And then then you've got your short term and then you've got your TP set on all your different trades, different TPs.
They'll usually have similar stop loss to start, and then if my trade idea is confirmed, I'll move a couple of them up into profit, and then I'll leave the other ones back down low.
That's a good. That's a good way to do it.
It works for me, man. I've discovered it that way. It works for me, and then I can always capture some benefit of a good idea. I've done so many good trades where I've gotten no profit because I've just kind of watched it. Peter Brand calls it like a popcorn trade.
Yes.
A piece of popcorn, it pops, it goes up, it comes back down. So.
And then what? So it's open. So you use different exchanges or all on the same exchange?
No, same exchange.
Yeah, nice.
All right.
Cool. One more question, if I can.
Yeah, go for it.
You've answered that question about multiple TPs because that's your strategy of opening different trades. That's cool. What do you think of that volume decrease we've had since March 22nd?
Okay, March 22nd. We're looking like a
daily chart, yeah.
Daily chart. Yeah, it's normal. I mean, people tend to misinterpret, like declining volume is normal in any kind of a consolidation range, because you usually have the most volume at the beginning of the move and the impulse, and then price will kind of slowly trail off until that consolidation completes. And what you want to do is look for volume on a breakout. You want to look for volume, when the price is interacting with a key level. But generally speaking, like declining volume is not bearish. Like people usually look at, look, the volume's declining, but like
consolidation.
What do you think happens in a bull flag? The volume trails off, and then boom, with the acceleration on the breakout.
So that breakout above 31,750 should be quite violent then, and we should see some volume if we want to see continuation.
We would like to, ideally, yes, and that would give you more confirmation that the move is genuine. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't want to get into my trading because we'll be speaking here for a while, but
it's okay.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Still
brother.
looking for my style, really. It's just cutting through the weeds and back testing. Different time frames, but getting there, did really well.
Be patient, and I would recommend smaller positions that will allow you to gain the experience, right? You need to have losses that you can learn lessons from, right? Like the residue of any failed trade is a lesson yet to be learned.
100%.
So you need to kind of allow yourself to have those losses, and you have to survive them. So that's why position sizing is important. That's why I coach people on using smaller position sizes, and also monitoring your emotional mind state as you're going through these trades.
Yeah, because there's also the the futures, and then I've traded full time now since July last year. But then I have my hodl stack that I keep DCAing in, which is fine. But I was just trying to find my style because there's just so much out there.
Less is more.
Honestly, but that's why I think the more
better,
indicators I remove off my chart and just go PA only, the better I feel.
That's it.
Just
100% way to do it. That's 100% way to do it. Yeah. Yeah. Have you watched my YouTube stuff?
No, not really. There's so many courses out there, Cheds.
No, you gotta go to YouTube. You gotta go to my YouTube. I make it all easy for you. I make it nice and simple.
I'll have a look, mate.
You got to do it and check out Bitcoin Live. It's a great opportunity.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Stay
See
strong.
ya. Bye.
See you around the way. All right, last up, X Dragon. You're gonna be the last one. What's going on, buddy?
Hi, Cheds. How are you? Thanks for letting me on last.
Of course.
I just have, cheers, mate. I was just wondering if you could elaborate a bit on. You said that you've done some studied TA professionally.
Yeah.
I was just wondering whether you've done that online or in an institution or something, or whether it's even worth it these days.
Chartered Market Technician Association, CMT.
CMT.
Yep. Right. And I did the level 1 course. They have 3 levels, and then you can become like a chartered member. So the reason why I did it, right? I did for the longest time. I always people had these rules of thumb, where the rules, they had a rule of thumb. Every time the price does this, such and such is supposed to happen. And I always heard these conflicting things. And so when I went through it and I did CMT, I learned actually what the real answers were. And I had already read, classical charting textbooks and Japanese candlestick textbooks, but going through CMT gave me the definitive answer on trend analysis. So I did CMT level 1, and it kind of turbocharged my trading and my analysis as well, my teachings. So I can highly recommend CMT level 1 for anyone who's serious about TA.
And if there's somebody who's I'm completely new, is that something that you think I'd be better probably self-learning first and then going on?
Definitely would not jump into it if you're brand new. You need a basis of knowledge and some muscle memory, some experience. I would go to my YouTube channel if you're brand new and you want to go to the masterclass playlist.
I've actually been watching your YouTube channel, everything. I'm just kind of I'm confident now I can start. I just haven't set myself up instead of
start and do Bitcoin Live.
All the charts and that.
You got to do Bitcoin Live. You'll be blown away with how much you're learning there. So I would definitely encourage you to check out Bitcoin Live, especially this week with the sale. It's crazy not to try it out.
And all the chart setups and everything is there as well. How to set up the chart and
100%.
100%. Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I'll definitely give that a shot. Thanks very much, sir.
Thank you, brother. All right,
cheers.
Ali, you're last. Thank you, man. We'll get you in last here. Ali Lynn, what's going on? Are you there? Ali Lynn, nope. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, folks, this has been a wonderful Spaces. This is episode 36 of the Ask Me Anything Twitter Spaces series. This is wonderful conversations. We're just hanging out. We're talking candidly. I'm learning. You're learning. We're all in this space together. I love talking to people, hearing their voice. It's honest. It's candid. It's fun. And for those of you who spoke and stepped up, thank you. I appreciate that. For those who didn't, I would encourage you next time to speak up. I'm actually going to do another one of these tomorrow. I'm going to do one on Friday, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, and Monday, right? It's the Bitcoin Live 5-year anniversary sale. I'm kind of going crazy this week. I did a YouTube stream last night. I did one the night before. I'm not doing one tonight because I'm doing the members only report on Bitcoin Live tonight, Wednesday and Sunday night. But you could sign up right now and you can get access to that and all of my prior work and all the work from the team. This is a crazy deal right now. So check my pinned tweet and check the tweet attached to the Spaces. But more importantly, I hope folks are all doing well. And, I just want to say thank you again. And I'll talk to you soon. Big Cheds out. What? Episode 36. We're getting through these. I'm going to upload these to my YouTube at Cheds Trading. I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. Check out my books on Amazon. Trading Wisdom, Trading Quotes. And check out Bitcoin Live. Check out the public blog. I will talk to you guys soon. Big Cheds out.